Zips up here. Today I'm going to be talking about the Panzer V-4. I heard they were going to be putting it back in the shop, so I decided to bring mine up to 100 battles this evening, and I did that, and I recorded a few of the games, so I'll share that with you today. There's not many people that play this tank. It's one of the rare ones. One of the misconceptions out there is that this tank has very poor gun depression. It's only 4 degrees up front, but it's 10 degrees off to the side. So it's actually quite usable if you just remember to put the barrel off to the corner. I'm going to start off here by speeding up the video just for the sake of time. I want to keep this video around 12 minutes or so. I'm going to try to put or squeeze in 3 battles here. One of the things I really like about the Panzer V-4 is that it has a pretty accurate gun. It's not super accurate, but it's pretty accurate. And it's got good penetration. It's still best to carry some APCR with you, but I find for the most part, unless you're fighting tier 7s, you don't really have to rely on it that much.
Looks like that one went right through.
The reloading rate of fire could be a little bit better, but it's still pretty decent damage per minute at tier 5. Now what's interesting about this tank is that it's kind of a little mini Franken tank. It's got a Panzer IV turret with a Panther body. So the chassis is a Panther chassis, which is a tier 7 tank, and the turret is a tier 5 Panzer IV. The tank is actually a lot heavier than some of the heavies in the game, but it is classified as a medium. Because of the weight, the acceleration is a little bit slow on the tank, but once it gets going, it can actually go pretty quick. I've had it up around 55, 57 on the flat before. Maybe it was a slight hill, but it was still going pretty fast in a fairly flat area. The turret and hull traverses are not super fantastic on the tank at 30 degrees each, but combined they give you enough traverse to be able to not have to worry about getting circled by anybody.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Now because of the weight and the speed this tank can hit, it's one of the best tanks in the game for its tier for ramming. It can do a lot of damage on a ram, and it won't suffer too much damage in return. That being said, ramming should be an option of last resort, not a primary means of attacking.
Enemy armor is damaged. We lit that one up good.
Note the way I shift my tank to the side here. This is just to give myself access to that 10 degrees of gun depression, which is not really needed here, but it's just a good habit to be in, and because I've played the tank enough, I now just do it without even thinking about it.
We've hit them hard.
As for credit earning, a decent game, like this one here, can earn a pretty good amount of credits. Unfortunately in this battle I don't survive, but I do want you guys to see this tank ramming a little bit. So there is some ramming involved in this battle right before I get taken out. Because of the large hull, the tank doesn't really have a very good camo rating, so something to keep in mind. Because of the tier 7 hull at tier 5, you can angle the hull pretty well. You can certainly side scrape very well, and if you put the corner pointing towards your opponent and wiggle the tank left to right a little bit, you can bounce a surprising number of shots. I get a little bit excited here and I overextend, which is really the biggest mistake I make in the match because I lose a lot of my hit points right here.
Gotta hurt. We've lost the track. We're immobilized. We've fixed the track. Let's roll.
In fact, I think it's my lack of patience that holds me back the most in terms of the games that could have been wins, should have been wins, but turned out to be losses.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Coming up here, you'll see that my ram plus a shot take a good chunk out of this guy's hit points. And I was not going very fast there at all. That low speed ram was good for about 80 damage. Now here's a great example of what you can do to bully your opponents with a heavy tank. I actually picked up and pushed the T-49. And the hit points I lost earlier in the match, really, I could have used them right now. It's unfortunate, but luckily the rest of the team has it well in hand. There's only one opponent left, and they'll take care of it. Now for this battle here, I don't normally like to go rails on Himmelsdorf, but because we were heavy with mediums and we're all up in this area anyway, it just made sense to go ahead. And because the Panzer V4 can side scrape so well, I felt pretty safe among the rail cars. Here you're going to see me push around and bully this this Panzer III-4 a little bit. The tank's weight just really lets you control an engagement more than if the tank were a lighter tank. So as we wrap things up here, I hope you enjoyed this quick little mini review of the Panzer V-4. It's 2 a.m. where I am right now, and I'm really tired, so I have to get to bed. I have to wake up at 6:30 tomorrow morning, so hopefully anybody watching this video, when the tank goes up for sale tomorrow in the shop, you'll be a little bit more informed about whether or not you want to get this guy or not. I do enjoy it. It does earn credits pretty well. I do like it more than the other tier 5 medium premiums like the T25. I think it's a decent tank to have in your garage.